the first Monday edition in the month of March. Thanks a lot for joining us this beautiful morning, and we hope you're getting ready to tackle the day head on. I am Kemi Foladiemo with Ibrahim Shita. How are you?
Good morning to you.
Happy Monday. And the weekend, or what was left of the weekend after your duty call?
I had a very busy weekend.
I can imagine.
Yesterday was all through, doing one or two things and all of that. And then before you know it, you went to bed, and then
we're here again.
Back early, very early in the morning again, and you're back to the office. Just to do the Nigerian job.
I can imagine. And, this kind of shift, so many short nights, are part of the baggage that you have to endure. But here we are. And the show, as always, is packed full, topical issues to be discussed. And we're beginning with this, interesting development. It occurred over the weekend where inmates at the Correctional Centre in Jos, the capital of Plateau State, protested on Friday, specifically, this against the reduction of their food rations, and this protest followed a tip-off that the size of their meals will be decreased. The rising cost of living in Nigeria has led to demonstrations in various regions, according to reports reaching TVC News. The inmates refused to obey the custodial officials and skipped breakfast to protest against the decision. Well, the officials used tear gas to force them back to their rooms. The prisoners then gathered in the center of the prison yard shouting. And confirming the incident, the comptroller of the Jos Correctional Centre, Raphael Ibinuhi, explained that the decision to reduce the food ration was due to the high cost of living in the country. We have details in this report.
Residents within the Jos command of the Correctional Service community in Jos were thrown into panic mode following the sound of sporadic gunshots from the correctional facility where inmates were serving their jail term. The TVC News crew was at the headquarters of the Correctional Centre to seek to find out the cause of the disturbance. We met the controller in charge of the command, who confirmed the incident to us, but he refused to speak on camera. He told us the inmates revolted because of an announcement of a reduction in their food ratio. Some residents shared their experience of the situation.
It was the guns, the sound were so loud and persisted for some time. And for me, I felt very scary because it's not quite long, about 1 or 2 years ago, that there was a jailbreak in that particular Jos prisons. So when the sound came up, we were thinking, because my office is not far from there, so I was thinking that it's almost maybe the same thing that took place again.
We had a lot of gunshots, so everybody started running helter-skelter because of the security condition of Nigeria now. So we later get to hear that it was the inmates that was protesting because they are told that they cannot feed them the way they normally feed them anymore.
We gathered that the contractor in charge of providing food for the inmates can no longer supply it, following the increase in food prices across the country. The prisoners became agitated and began to throw stones at officers on guard. The armed squad of the command was deployed to quell the conflict.
When I got there, I addressed them, the inmates, that everybody should go back to their rooms, that to avoid any casualty or avoid any unwanted situation. And I told them what I intend to do, and they said I should go ahead. So I now said the armed men should release some canisters of tear gas to disperse them. So they started throwing stones. All of them were armed with stones. So they even wounded some staff. They started throwing stones. So I said they should fire in the air.
It is important for the relevant authorities to tackle this challenge before it will be out of control. From Joshua, TVC News, Jos.
All right, and so there you have it. The prison officials for the Jos Correctional Facility have also gone on to say, that it wasn't like there was a jailbreak or something of the sorts. But yes, there was a bit of some discontent protest by the inmates. Mind you, this is a facility that has about 1,600 plus inmates in that facility. Of course, majority of them are those awaiting trial, and that's what is replicated across the other correctional facilities in Nigeria. But according to the prison officials, or the correctional facility officials, they are saying it's not like the meals. What actually happened was that instead of the regular rice that the inmates are used to, they would now have to improvise and bring in varieties, bring grains and the like, to augment. Everybody knows what the price of rice is saying, right now. Of course, there are still ongoing efforts to boost food security, food availability, and affordability for people, not just those in facilities, but, regular Nigerians who are, struggling to eat 3-course meals daily.
Yes, and it's quite understandable, just like you've already said. Food security is something that we are currently grappling with at the moment, due to some people's, the current economic situation, and some people also trying to profiteer out of, the economic situation we're facing in this country. So those on the streets are still finding it difficult to, make ends meet or be able to make enough money to buy a bag of rice, or even something less than a bag of rice, and which is the staple for most Nigerians. They let alone those who are already in confinement, who are not able to fend for themselves due to one situation or the other. You try to give us the statistics then. The Custodial Centre has 1,064 inmates, comprising 1,035 males and 19 females. So those awaiting trial are made up of 647 males, 14 females, while convicted inmates consist of 205 males and 4 female. Inmates on death row are 131. Whether you're on death row or not, in as much as the final whistle has been blown on those people's lives, they still have to be fed. They must definitely be fed by the government. So it's quite understandable, but it's also very important for the custodial service and the government to ensure that these people do not, because hunger can also make someone who is already on death row to over misbehave and say, well, I don't even have anything in stake. Whatever I do, if I decide to, because I also understand that they threw stones, they pelted stones at some of the personnel, and then some slightly injured and all of that. So it's very important that we do things to ensure that we avoid jailbreaks and disorderliness in our prison, in our custodial centers. So we understand also that the government, the president, for instance, is also making promises, showing that it's not easy for the reforms for us to enjoy immediately, because Nigeria has actually gone down the drain, almost gone down the drain, due to the payment of fuel subsidy. The 3 candidates agreed that they were going to remove subsidy when they get into position, but the subsidy was actually removed before the president came in, which he confirmed that he has been, it's gone, in his own words. So he said, we face some short-term turbulence at the moment, but we have a government today that reflects the dynamism and talent of the Nigerian people. So he said we are implementing, the right solutions, and we hope that the solutions come in good enough time.
Especially when you realize and you see now that there is a strong connection between hunger and insecurity. And last year we were all, witnesses to the spate of insecurity, even spilling into correctional facilities. And this particular just facility has had a history of jailbreaks, deadly jailbreaks, attacks on the facility. So that would probably, explain the kind of response that the officials gave the protesting inmates when that incident occurred over the weekend. We hope that just as government is also, working around the challenge, more and more well-meaning Nigerians will also step up to help and, to support government in one way or the other, especially in places like prisons where you can just imagine the condition of things there.